he arranged for Lord Chaitanya and all of his associates to be in a very, very perfect place to watch the Pandu Vijaya, where the Dayatas would carry Lord Jagannath, Balaram and Subhadra from their throne to their chariots. There were thick, large silken ropes that would be wrapped around Jagannath's body. And the Dayatas, Dayata means one who has received the mercy. We heard from His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj how previously Jagannath was worshipped as Nila Madhava by these Shabaras, who were simple farmers of pigs. They were living in the jungles, but they worshiped the Lord with pure devotion. And the Lord for generations accepted that devotion. During the day from them, and during the nights, the demigods would come to do the puja. Krishna is not concerned with any external qualifications. Krishna's Saragrahi Janardana. He's only seeking the essence of the sincerity of a devotee's love. That's all. So the Dayatas, who are descendants of those persons, and the Dayatapatis, who are Brahmins, they have received the mercy of the Lord. And Srila Prabhupada explains, after the Snan Yatra for approximately 15 days, Lord Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra, they performed the Leela of having a fever. Just to invoke the feelings of servitude from his servants. And the Dayatapatis, they give Krishna different medicinal infusions in the form of different fruit juices and herbs. Actually, some years ago, we were here at Ratha Yatra, and we danced and we chanted from the beginning to the end, from Jagannath Mandir to Gundicha Temple. It lasted. They didn't even make it to the end at night. They stopped the procession at sunset, and the chariots just stopped there, and Jagannath just took rest on his chariot that night. Then after sunrise the next morning, they continue. So it went on for about 8 hours, and it was pouring rain for almost the whole procession. The devotees were singing, dancing. Then the next morning, we all got up to chant japa, and we were sitting around the chariot. It was storming rain, and some devotees had little umbrellas. Some just found some pieces of plastic on the street and put it on top of their heads. And everyone was chanting, hundreds and hundreds of devotees. And I remember the pandas, they were so happy to see the devotees for about 3-4 hours chanting japa in the pouring rain, sitting on the street. They said, that in appreciation for the ISKCON devotees, we will give them one full rope of Jagannath's chariot to exclusively pulled by them. course, the next day there wasn't as many people as the first day. But one thing I remember is I had high fever. Very, very high fever. And I had bronchitis, and I don't know what else, but I was extremely sick. And so many doctors, because we have our Bhaktivedanta hospital, we can't escape doctors. They were all coming with all sorts of ideas. And then our dear, esteemed friend, Ram Kumar, who's one of the Dayatapatis, he's actually taking care of Jagannath when he has a fever. So he gave me the Mahaprasad of the medicine that Jagannath took for his fever. It was about this big. And I don't know what it was, but it was incredibly delicious. It was some sort of herbs. And he told me take little at a time, and my fever went away. I remember we had a doctor who didn't believe Jagannath actually had a fever. So Ram Kumar said, come and touch him. He touched him, and this is a true story. The doctor got his hand burnt. He came running to my room, crying like a baby. He said, he really does have a fever. It was early in the morning. I said, who? I was thinking one of our devotees. I said, who? He said, Jagannath. He really does. I tested him. My hand was burnt. So Jagannath could reciprocate with devotees in so many wonderful ways. So after 15 days, the Lord, of being in seclusion with Mahalakshmi, the supreme goddess of fortune, Jagannath comes to take his journey to Gundicha, to Vrindavan Dham. And as the Dayatas were carrying Lord Jagannath, King Prataparudra, with a broom that had a golden handle, was sweeping the street as Jagannath was being carried. And as he was sweeping, he also had a pot of water that was scented with sandalwood. He was sprinkling the sandalwood oil so that everything was very refreshing and fragrant for Lord Jagannath as he swept. Now sometimes at our Rath Yatras, politicians come and sweep the street. But they usually do it for votes. But Paramatma within the heart understands the sincerity of our intentions. Srila Prabhupada writes this. Krishna does not accept the things that we offer. Krishna accepts the sincerity of the intention, the purpose in which it is offered. Because Krishna sings from outside in and from inside out. Lord Chaitanya, his heart melted. Previously, as been explained, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was rejecting seeing the king because he was a materialistic person involved in so much materialistic activities. But he saw that the king, from the very core of his heart, identified himself as the menial servant of the Lord. Because sweeping is as menial as we could do. Anybody could sweep. You don't need an education. You don't need a high birth. You don't need beauty. You don't even need a strong body. Anybody could sweep. And some people, in some places, people who are considered to be of the lowest order of society are kept to live among themselves. I don't want to go into too many details, but I've been to such places. They call them, in a most condescending way, the sweeper class. King Prataparudra, with great feeling and gratitude, he was sweeping before the Supreme Lord. And sweeping before all the devotees, he wanted everyone who was there to understand his true position. I might be a king in my role, but in my heart, I'm simply the menial servant of the Lord. And Kaviraj Goswami returns to this particular idea again and again in these pastimes. How Lord Chaitanya was so pleased that the king had such humility. Lord Chaitanya looked up at Jagannath and cried out, Manima, Manima, which is an Odishan way of respecting a great personality. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami tells that Lord Jagannath's chariot looked like Mount Sumeru. Yesterday, our godbrother Tribhangananda Prabhu was talking about his initiation, I believe in 1973, at Trafalgar Square in London. And during that initiation, Srila Prabhupada gave a lecture there. And the next day, in the newspaper, a London newspaper, it said that the Hare Krishna chariot was rivaling the Nelson column. And Prabhupada really liked that. He actually wrote it in the purport of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. He said, just like the residents of Puri were comparing the Jagannath chariot to Mount Sumeru, the people of London compare it to the Nelson column, which is it's the most famous statue in London. It's very high. As they pulled the chariot, Jagannath, who is Krishna, returning to Vrindavan, he was looking with his lotus-like eyes and saw the sand of Puri as the banks of the Yamuna. And he saw the little gardens of Puri as the forests of Vrindavan. Jagannath's mind was feeling great pleasure. Then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gathered all of his devotees and personally worshipped each and every one of them. With great feeling, he embraced each devotee, and with his own loving hands, he put garlands on them and anointed their limbs with sandalwood pulp. And he divided his devotees into 7 kirtan groups. Each group had a lead singer and a lead dancer. Each kirtan group had 2 mridangas and many, many kartals. The first group, Swarup Damodar Goswami was the lead singer, and Sri Advaita Prabhu was lead dancer. The second group, Srivas Thakur was singing, and Nityananda Prabhu was the dancer. The next group, Mukunda Dutt, led the kirtan. Haridas Thakur was the lead dancer. And the next group, Govinda Ghosh was singing, and Vakreshwar Pandit danced. Then the residents of Kulinagram started another group with Ramananda and Satyaraj Khan as the lead dancers. And in Srikhanda, they started a group from that village. And that kirtan party, Narahari and Raghunandan were the lead dancers. And from Shantipur, the son of Sri Advaita Achyutananda was dancing. 4 parties were dancing in front of Jagannath's chariot, 1 on either side and 1 in the back. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he danced, the ecstatic symptoms of his love, his great happiness, bringing Krishna back to Vrindavan. That was his mood. Very mystically, only a few of the most confidential associates could see what he was doing. He expanded himself to be dancing in all 7 of the kirtan parties simultaneously. Each party was thinking, Lord Chaitanya is only with me. The comparison is given when Krishna was dancing in Ras Leela. Each gopi was thinking, Krishna's dancing only with me. In Dwarka, of 16,108 queens, each one was thinking, Krishna's living in the palace only with me. The same Leela was revealed and shared with the devotees in Puri. At other times, Lord Chaitanya would become one form, and all the parties would come together to dance and chant and watch the beauty of his dance. King Prataparudra, he was observed by Kashi Mishra and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. They were struck with wonder. They could understand the mercy King Prataparudra was receiving. He was able to personally see and understand 2 of the most mystical of all secrets. And he was astonished. Those 2 secrets. 1, he was watching Lord Jagannath, stopping his chariot to see Lord Chaitanya dance. And he understood, he realized that Lord Jagannath was watching himself. And Lord Chaitanya was dancing for himself. And at the same time, they were separate. Krishna, in the mood of Sri Radha, was dancing for Krishna. And he also could see how the Lord was dancing in all 7 parties simultaneously. Kaviraj Goswami tells very clearly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave that mercy to Prataparudra Maharaj because he was so pleased with his menial service of sweeping the street for Lord Jagannath and the devotees. Lord Chaitanya, his Leela Shakti, was arranging all these incredible different manifestations of his pastime because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was totally absorbed. He looked up at Lord Jagannath and offered this simple prayer. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. And then he offered 2 other prayers glorifying the mercy, the beauty, and the pastimes of Lord Krishna. And then concluded with one prayer where he's revealing his heart. Naham viprona cha narapatirnapi vaishona shudra. I'm not a Brahman or a Kshatriya or Vaishya or a Shudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. My only identity, my only true aspiration is to be the servant of the servant of the servant, the Anu, the insignificantly small servant of all the servants of the Lord of the Gopis. That was the prayer that Lord Chaitanya established the foundation of his Sankirtan for the Ratha Yatra, where the most profound ecstasies of love were to be revealed. Sometimes as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced, in order to protect him, Lord Nityananda Prabhu held the hands of his associates to make a circle. Around them, Govinda and Kashishwar made another circle, and around them, King Prataparuja and his ministers and associates made another circle, so that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could dance freely. Because there were millions of people there. This dance of love is something that the world has never witnessed before. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he didn't just cry, but his tears were shooting like syringes. And everyone around him was being bathed by Lord Chaitanya's tears of love. Like the Samuli tree, his hairs were standing on end, like the flowers of a Kadamba tree. Sometimes he would be light like cotton, sometimes he would be heavier than the earth. His beautiful golden complexion would turn to white, to pink. Sometimes his limbs were as hard as dry wood, and sometimes as soft as freshly churned butter. Sometimes from his mouth, jaja gaga, these sounds were coming that nobody could understand. He would roll on the ground like a beautiful golden mountain. And at other times he would leap so high, look up upon him, and he'd be roaring out the holy names. Swarup Damodar Goswami and Lord Chaitanya, their mind and their senses were identical. As the dearmost devotee of the Lord, Swarup Damodar Goswami would sing exactly in harmony with what was in the heart of Lord Chaitanya, to give him pleasure. He sang a particular verse. Now I have gained the Lord of my life, in the absence of whom I was being burnt by Cupid and withering away. When Lord Chaitanya heard that, he entered into the mood of the Gopis meeting Krishna in Kurukshetra. This is described in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. After many years of living in separation from Krishna, Kaviraj Goswami tells when Krishna left Vrindavan, the Brijabasis cried for the rest of their lives, waiting for Krishna to return. After many, many years, they received a message inviting them to meet Krishna in Kurukshetra. This is before the great battle. Kurukshetra is a holy place. It's been a holy place since time immemorial. A place where yajnas, where spiritual ceremonies are performed to invoke the highest blessings and benedictions. So on the occasion of solar eclipse, it is considered a very holy place to observe these ceremonies. When Krishna met with the Gopis in Kurukshetra, the experience is what was enacted by Lord Chaitanya during Ratha Yatra. Lord Chaitanya, in the mood of Sri Radharani, wanted to make sure that Lord Jagannath was remembering him. So sometimes during the kirtan, he would go behind Jagannath's chariot, and Jagannath would stop. Even though everyone was pulling, nobody could make him move until Lord Chaitanya came into the front and Jagannath would follow him. Lord Chaitanya, in the mood of Sri Radha, spoke to Lord Jagannath that I am the same Radharani and you are the same Krishna. And we are meeting in the same way we used to meet. But I am not happy here. These are the same moonlight nights of the month of Chaitra. And I'm feeling the same fragrance of the Kadamba groves. But I want to take you back to the river Yamuna's banks in the forest of Vrindavan. Because my mind is Vrindavan. It is said that the mind and the heart is one. But my mind is one with Vrindavan. I can never be happy until you return home once again to Vrindavan. Here, there are crowds of people, mighty elephants, horses, and chariots. So much noise and sound. But in Vrindavan, there's only the sweet humming of the bees, the chirping of the birds in the forest. Here, you are dressed like a royal prince, surrounded by mighty soldiers. But I wish to bring you back to Vrindavan, where you're dressed like a simple cowherd boy, accompanied by your flute. There is not even a single drop of happiness here in Kurukshetra compared to the limitless ocean of happiness of Vrindavan. Lord Chaitanya continued that in his words to Lord Jagannath, that after you left for Vrindavan, for Mathura, you sent Uddhav to teach us Jnana Yoga and Dhyana Yoga. Asking gopis to meditate. How could you do this? Why are you trying to kill us with this instruction to meditate on you? We're trying to forget you. We're trying to engage in materialistic activities, but we cannot forget you. You're telling us to meditate? We're drowning in an ocean of separation from you, swallowed by the timingala fish of our ambition to serve you. Only if you come back to Vrindavan can we be satisfied. Have you forgotten your father, your mother, your friends? Have you forgotten Govardhan Hill? The banks of the Yamuna? And the wonderful forest that you performed your rasa dance? The Brijabasis, the residents of Vrindavan, they have given their hearts, their lives to you. Are you trying to kill them by staying away? Or will you save their lives by coming home? Sri Radharani, she spoke to Krishna through Lord Chaitanya, speaking to Jagannath, that I do not care for my own unhappiness, but seeing the moroseness on the face of your mother Yashoda, and seeing the suffering of all the Brijabasis, it's unbearable. Why, Krishna, are you doing this to us? You are the only opulence of Vrindavan, and especially to Nanda Maharaj and all the inhabitants. Do you want us to die? Or will you come home and give us life? Then Krishna told Sri Radharani in Kurukshetra that I cry throughout every day and every night in separation from all of you. The residents of Vrindavan are my very life and soul. He actually explained it in this way. The residents of Vrindavan are my life and soul. And the gopis are my very life and soul. And you, Sri Radharani, are the very life of my life and soul. And I know that you cannot live without me. Therefore, every day I worship Lord Narayan. And secretly, by the mercy of Lord Narayan, I come to Vrindavan to enjoy pastimes with all of you. and you could feel my presence. He said, in 10 or 20 days I will return, but there are still 2 or 4 more demons I must kill. The only reason I'm living in Dwarka is so that the demons will not attack Vrindavan. I'm just as a formality living with the queens and all of the royalties of the Yadu dynasty, but my heart is forever in Vrindavan with you. This was the mood of Lord Chaitanya in RADHANATH. The deepest, most esoteric and profound of all the conclusions of all the scriptures was revealed by Lord Chaitanya in the RADHANATH. The ecstasy of the love of separation of Sri Radha and the Brajavasis for Krishna. Lord Chaitanya, Radha Bhavaduti Subalitam Nomi Krishna Swarupam. He's Krishna who's come to taste the sweetness of Radha's love, but also to give that love to the most fallen souls of this age of Kali Yuga. Rupa Goswami's prayer, we all know it, but the depth of the meaning of this prayer is inconceivable. Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaudiya Vaishnava. Just as Swarup Damodar Goswami understood the heart of Lord Chaitanya perfectly, Rupa Goswami also understood the heart of Lord Chaitanya perfectly. And he revealed it to the world. Here in Puri, at the Siddhabakula, when Lord Chaitanya was speaking to his devotees about Rupa Goswami, he said, I met him at Prayag, and seeing his humility, his devotion, I embraced him and invested my love in his heart. The followers of Lord Chaitanya are Rupanugas. This beautiful prayer, Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prem Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaudiya Vaishnava, declares Lord Chaitanya as the most magnanimous, munificent, and merciful of all incarnations, even more merciful than Krishna. How can Krishna be more merciful than Krishna? If Krishna wants to be more merciful than Krishna, Krishna is Swarat, he's independent, he can do everything, anything. Krishna exchanged the Madhurya Ras, the loving pastimes with Gopis and Sri Radha in the forests of Vrindavan. But only a small group of the most purified saints and sages from Dandakaranya, personified Vedas, could actually enter into that Leela, along with the Nitya Siddhas. But Lord Chaitanya comes in the age of Kali. Bhagavatam says the people of this age of Kali are most unfortunate. very uncontrolled senses, uncontrolled minds, unclean. So many distractions. In Satya Yuga, if you wanted to attain liberation, love for Krishna, 60,000 years of meditation. And that type of meditation, your mind would not waver for a moment from your object of meditation, Vishnu in your heart. How many of us, for 60 minutes, 60 days, 60 years, 60,000 years, meditating on Vishnu in our heart with no distraction? But anyone who was sincere had the capacity to do that. Kriteya dhyayato Vishnu. But in Kali Yuga, which is an ocean of faults, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, and here in Jagannath Puri, in a public place, Ratha Yatra, amidst millions of people, he's revealing the most intimate, loving moods of the rasa between Krishna and Sri Radharani in Vrindavan. And through his devotees, he's sharing this with the world. Our acharyas teach us very clearly, we cannot imitate these things. The way to approach these divine leelas, Lord Chaitanya taught through the congregational chanting of the holy names. Lord Chaitanya taught us how to chant, Trinadapi Sunichena. We have to be humble, forgiving, tolerant. And we have to be in the mood of the servant of the servant. This is what Mahaprabhu is giving us. This is Jagannath Puri Dham. We come to this holy of all holy places, feeling ourselves very fallen, crying out the holy names, crying out for service to Krishna and the devotees, so that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, mercy will be upon us. Kaviraj Goswami declares that everyone in that parade could clearly see Lord Chaitanya dancing. The residents of Puri, the pilgrims, the shopkeepers, everyone. And whoever saw Lord Chaitanya's loving dance were blessed with the highest perfection of ecstatic love for Krishna. That is how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was freely giving his mercy. Then the parade came to the Balagandhi, where Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra's chariots stop. And anyone and everyone could come and offer bhoga. King Prataparuja, various Brahmins, various people, they brought hundreds and thousands of preparations, placed them all around the chariots to offer them. At that time, Lord Chaitanya and his associates went to a garden, just close to Gundicha Temple, to rest. By this time, throughout the entire day, they were continuously chanting and dancing in great joy. Lord Chaitanya laid on a raised platform to rest. It was at that time that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Ramananda Rai, and the other devotees, they put King Prataparudra in the dress of a simple Vaishnava. And they told him, go in and massage Lord Chaitanya's legs and chant the Gopi Gita. King Prataparudra had such faith in the Vaishnavas. Previously, during the chanting and the parade, Lord Chaitanya actually fell back into the arms of King Prataparudra. But as soon as he came to external consciousness, he curled his lips in distaste and said, I am condemned. I have been touched by a materialistic person. The king was devastated. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya told him, actually, Lord Chaitanya is very pleased with you. But he's saying this because he's giving an example to others. So after that, really King Prataparudra had to have great faith in the Vaishnavas to go back to massage Lord Chaitanya's legs. First, the king took the blessings and the dust of the feet of all the devotees. Then he went in. He offered his Dandavat pranams to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was laying on the platform in ecstatic love, and massaged his lotus feet. According to the instructions of Ramananda Rai and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he began to sing the prayers, Jayati Te Dikam. Lord Chaitanya, in great, great love, was absorbed in hearing. And when he came to that prayer, Tavakatamritam Tapta Jivanam, describing the glories of those who chant the names and the glories of the Lord. The pastimes, the names, the glories of Krishna are like nectar. They can purify all the sins and darkness of the heart and awaken ecstatic love for Krishna. And those who broadcast the glories of the Lord are Burida. They are the most munificent. When Lord Chaitanya heard this verse, he cried out, you are most munificent, you are most munificent, Burida, Burida. He sat up and embraced King Prataparudra, not knowing who he was externally. He embraced him again and again and again. He said to the king, you are giving me so much nectar. There is nothing I can ever to do to repay you. You are giving me my life. You are drowning me in nectar. Lord Chaitanya was literally bathing him with tears of affection. Then he said, who are you? You cannot tell a lie to the absolute truth. If King Prataparudra were to say, actually, I'm King Prataparudra, That would have been impossible. But at the same time, he couldn't tell him he's not. That's where we find the very heart of this Leela revealed. King Prataparuja responded to Lord Chaitanya by speaking the deepest, most honest truth of his heart. He said, I am the servant of the servant of the servant of your servants. And my only ambition in life is to be the servant of the servant of your servants. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains this is the heart of bhakti. And Srila Prabhupada tells that Prahlad Maharaj went through so much difficulty when Lord Narasimhadev offered any benediction to Prahlad. Prahlad only asked for one thing, according to this purport: to be the servant of the servant of the servant of your servants. And when Dhruva Maharaj was offered by Kuvera any benediction, the treasurer of the Devatas, Dhruva prayed to be the servant of the Lord's servants. Kolavecha Sridhar, he lived in what we would consider desperate poverty materially. His clothes were rags. His house was a single tiny room in a thatched hut that leaked. His body was emaciated from no food. And nobody understood who he was except for a few of the greatest devotees. He was offered wealth, kingdoms, mystic cities, elevation to the spiritual world. Kolavecha Sridhar refused every benediction. Lord Chaitanya said, I want to give you something. Lord Sridhar said, I don't want anything from you, Lord. Please be peaceful. I only want to make you happy. Lord Chaitanya said, if you want to make me happy, ask for something. To be the servant of the servant of the servant. The conclusion, Srila Prabhupada explained, the highest benediction that we could strive for or pray for is to be the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so pleased with King Prataparuja. He secretly revealed his divine opulences to him and told him, please do not disclose what you have seen to anyone. And throughout this whole entire pastime, Lord Chaitanya never revealed that he knew who he was. King Prataparuja was blessed with the ecstasy of the love of Vrindavan. But the most instructive part of the story is what's coming next. Are you awake? Much louder, please. Thank you. King Prataparuja, who was soaked with the tears, the nectar of the tears of Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Sri Radha's tears of love for Krishna. He bowed down and came out of the garden where the devotees were waiting for him. he understood that everything was by the mercy of those devotees. With such humble gratitude, he took the dust of the feet and bowed down to every devotee. The devotees were overwhelmed with joy to see the mercy that Prataparudra Maharaj received. And here Srila Prabhupada explains, they had no envy. In this material world, the force of envy is so powerful. People cannot tolerate others having anything that they may want. And Srila Prabhupada explains, even in spiritual life, we're coming to renounce the false ego, but we could so easily become envious of other devotees. It is clearly declared the meaning of a Vaishnava is to have no envy. Please chant Hari Bol very loudly if you feel yourself to be a Vaishnava. I'm very happy you have no envy. Therefore, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he did not take anyone serious who called themselves a Vaishnava. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Lord Chaitanya himself took seriously a person who considered themselves Vaishnav Das, the servant of the Vaishnavas. If we truly want to please Krishna, we will find happiness when we see others getting his mercy. We will feel happy when we see others prospering spiritually. If somebody's being empowered by Krishna, if that person gets proud, they're not really very dear to Krishna. But if little you or me, if we're happy to see that person being empowered, we're more dear to Krishna than they are. Does that make sense? Krishna's not just pleased by what we can accomplish. He's pleased when we are truly a well-wisher of others. When we take joy to see another devotee's success, take joy to see another devotee's happiness, take joy to see another devotee's empowerment, we become intimately dear to Krishna by that happiness. But if we have envy, then we should know that that envy is what disconnects us. But I don't want to leave you all hopeless, because sometimes we are envious. But we should recognize envy as an enemy, not a friend. We should not act according to the dictations of our envy. We should do just the opposite. If we're feeling envious of someone, we should serve that person. Now, someone may say that's hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy if we're doing it to get something material. as a result. If I'm feeling envious, if I'm feeling miserable about a person's success, but I say, oh, you are so nice, and our motivation is we're going to get something even greater materially. I'll get fame, I'll get fortune. People will think I'm not envious, and they'll touch my feet. If that's our motivation, then we're hypocritical. But if we're humble, that this envy is a disease, I'm praying, Krishna, please save me from this envy. I'm like Gajendra, helplessly in the jaws of the crocodile of envy. Please, Krishna, save me. Save me. And how do we cry out to Krishna to save me? By chanting his holy names. And we serve that Vaishnava, and we glorify that Vaishnava to purify ourselves of that envy. It's like a medicine. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in, when he returned to Navadvip, in Koladvip, and he met one Brahmin there. The Brahmin said that when you were here in Navadvip, I was so envious of your devotees. I was constantly blaspheming your devotees. But after you left to take sannyas, I woke up to realize how sinful I am. Now I'm surrendering to you. Please, what can I do to be forgiven? Lord Chaitanya said that when you criticize others, you're drinking poison. When you glorify the great souls, when you glorify the Vaishnavas, when you speak as a well-wisher to others, you are drinking nectar. So stop criticizing and speak the glories of the Vaishnavas and chant the holy names. That is the medicine. Time and again in the Leelas of the Lord, the devotees feel so much concern for each other. What a beautiful Vaishnava community we will have when we celebrate the good fortune of each other. And we're there with genuine care and compassion to help each other in our misfortune. That is Gaudiya Vaishnava society. So the devotees, none of them were thinking, why didn't Lord Chaitanya bathe me with his tears? Why didn't he embrace me time and time again and say, I'm the most munificent? That's not the way a Vaishnava thinks. They weren't thinking of themselves. They were rejoicing because the king was receiving the Lord's mercy. That's how we water the root of the tree. That's how we please Krishna. That's how our love of Krishna awakens. So here in this Ratha Yatra, we're speaking very neophyte, just repeating the words, that's who I am. We're speaking about Sri Radharani's most intimate dialogue with Lord Krishna. bringing him, begging him to come back to Vrindavan. And that's what the Rath Yatra parade is. Srila Prabhupada explained it so simply. That in the hearts of the gopis, because Srimad Bhagavatam doesn't tell that Krishna went to Vrindavan then. In the hearts of the gopas and the gopis, they brought Krishna, Balaram, and Subhadra Mai. In the chariots of their hearts, they brought him back to Vrindavan. And Srila Prabhupada told in San Francisco to a large crowd of Americans, he said, this Rath Yatra is bringing Krishna back into our hearts, back into the Vrindavan of our hearts. That is the meditation. So the most mystical, esoteric, deep message. And here it concludes, the Rath Yatra's conclusion is how we have to be free of envy. We have to be well-wishers to each other. We have to genuinely feel ourselves servant of the servant of the servant. And in this mood, we have to learn to constantly chant the holy names. Then our heart becomes Vrindavan. Krishna reveals himself to us. And in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's path, as we make spiritual progress, we want to share that good fortune among the other devotees. And as a community, we want to share it with all living beings throughout every town, every village in all the world. King Prataparudra, after he came out of the garden, bowed down to all the devotees, he didn't just go back to his palace thinking how fortunate he was. He immediately was working so hard to organize prasad for Lord Chaitanya and all the devotees. There was no stop, he just wanted to serve. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami tells the type of prasad that Maharaj Prataparudra organized for the Vaishnavas. There's pages and pages and pages of preparations described. And Lord Chaitanya and all the devotees took prasad so happily. They rested. And meanwhile, it was time for the chariot to continue to Gundicha. The people were pulling the ropes. Jagannath would not move. The Godas, they came to pull the ropes. Still didn't move. Nobody understood, how is this possible? King Prataparudra, he was such a Sevite in the mood of serving. He organized the strongest wrestlers of the kingdom to grab the ropes and pull with all their strength. Still, Jagannath didn't move. The king, he brought royal elephants, gigantic male elephants, and hooked them up to the chariots. The elephants, many, many elephants, pulling the ropes. They were struggling, straining. The elephants were screaming. trying to move the chariot. Everyone, make sound like screaming elephant. You sound like jackals. Try again. Okay, that was better. You sound like cuckoo birds. They were screaming, and nobody could. And Lord Chaitanya came out and was smiling. And he personally came and disconnected all the elephants. And then put the ropes in the hands of his devotees. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally went behind Jagannath's chariot, and with the top of his head, he pushed the back of the chariot, and the chariot moved. And kept moving. The devotees were in great wonder because they weren't pulling. The ropes were just laying in their hands. Just by Lord Chaitanya's head pushing from the rear side, Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra arrived at Gaudiya Temple. The deities picked them up and brought them on their thrones in Gaudiya. There was a wonderful Abhishekam bathing ceremony. Bhoga was offered to them. And meanwhile, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees in the gardens of the Gaudiya performed Harinam Sankirtan. For 9 days, Lord Chaitanya and his associates celebrated Krishna being back home in Vrindavan again. Throughout the day, every day they were doing kirtans in the various gardens around Gaudiya. We're becoming short of time. The Hera Panchami took place, which is a very inconceivable, wonderful festival described in great detail in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Sri Lakshmi Devi comes to meet Lord Jagannath because he was away from her for many, many days. You have to read it. It's very beautiful. It's revealed in here the glories of Vrindavan. Beyond even Vaikuntha. And then on the 9th day, Lord Jagannath is brought back to the Jagannath Temple. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would rise every morning very early, take his bath and go to Jagannath's temple. He would stay there till the Upala Bhog, which is around noon, and bring the Mahaprasad, the garlands, the cloth, and the bhoga, the food remnant prasad of Jagannath directly to the garden where Haridas Thakur was residing. This was Lord Chaitanya's daily routine. Dance and chant in ecstatic kirtan in Jagannath's temple till noon, then bring Jagannath's prasad to Haridas Thakur to discuss Krishna Katha and Harinam with Haridas, and then he would return to his own residence in Nagambira. For 4 months, the devotees of Bengal remained with the Lord. And each of the devotees was very anxious to invite Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to their homes for prasad. I'll give one example. One day, Sri Advaitacharya, he approached Lord Chaitanya with great humility. In fact, every day Lord Advaitacharya would come to the Gambhira, and he would have so much devotion in the way he worshiped the Lord. He would have a garland, he would have a little deep for arti, he would offer him incense. And then after, he would offer the beautiful prayer, Namo Brahmanya Devaya. And after Advaitacharya offered all this puja to Lord Chaitanya would take the same articles of puja and worship Advaita. And he would say, whoever you are, but I offer my respects to you. So one day Advaitacharya invited Lord Chaitanya for lunch. Because Lord Chaitanya would always take lunch with the other sannyasis. And being a sannyasi, he would insist on very simple food. So Advaita Prabhu said, please come to my house. I just have some very simple rice. Come today. This was in the morning. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always wanted to give affection and happiness and glorify his devotees. He said to Advaitacharya that whoever eats your rice, the rice that is cooked by you and offered to Krishna, that person will get love for Krishna. The ultimate perfection of life is achieved just by tasting the rice that you have cooked for Krishna. I am willing to go out and be a beggar to obtain the rice prasad that you have prepared. Advaitacharya was feeling so happy that Lord Chaitanya was encouraging him in such a way, especially because that meant he was going to come for prasad that day. So Sri Advaita went back to his house. His beloved wife, Sita Thakurani, was there. He said, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming for prasad. Let us make everything the best. So they were gathering so many different preparations. In fact, Sita Thakurani, she had such motherly affection for Lord Chaitanya that she knew everything that little Nimai Pandit used to love to eat when he was a child. And she brought all those ingredients. Of course, she was very close friends with Sachi Devi. She brought all those ingredients, special kinds of sak and vegetables and special rice from Bengal. And she was preparing, and her and Advaita Prabhu, they were together cooking. In the pages of Chaitanya Charitamrita, it describes she brought at least 10 different varieties of sak, spinach. And as they were preparing it, Sri Advaita Prabhu said to Sita that, O mother of Krishnadas, Lord Chaitanya's routine is whenever he accepts an invitation for prasad, all the sannyasis come with him. If he comes with all the sannyasis, he won't eat very much. He will not eat all these wonderful preparations that we're cooking for him. Every single one of these preparations is so special and so nice, cooked for his pleasure. Don't you want to see him, O Sita Thakurani? Don't you want to see Lord Chaitanya enjoy every one of these preparations? But how is that possible if he comes with a crowd of sannyasis? What to do? Meanwhile, they finished cooking. And it was time for Lord Chaitanya to come. All the sannyasis, it was noontime, so they took their bath in the ocean. Suddenly, there was ferocious winds, massive clouds, storming rain, hail of ice balls falling from the sky. And because of the winds and the rains and the hail, it became so dark, and all the sand and the dust was in the air. The sannyasis didn't know where they were walking. They couldn't see anything. They were trying to get to Advaita Prabhu's house, but they couldn't see which way to go. Meanwhile, there was just a very light rain at Advaita's house. And he set everything up. And from the Gambhira to Advaita's house, there was no rain for Lord Chaitanya to come. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came all alone. Sri Advaita Prabhu was so happy. Sita Thakurani was so happy. They put a nice seat down, and they brought so many different preparations for the Lord's pleasure. And Lord Chaitanya would take half of it and leave the other half. Each preparation, he would take half and leave the other half. And then Lord Chaitanya explained why he did this. He said, this prasad is so wonderful. It's so beautiful. After eating it, I want to keep looking at it. I don't want it to ever go away. And Advaita kept filling it back up, and Lord Chaitanya would keep eating half of it again. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was glorifying each and every preparation, especially the sak, the spinach sabjis. He said, I have not tasted anything so nectarine and ambrosial as this sak. So much love, so much devotion, so much care. How is it possible that you could cook all of this? Advaitacharya and Sita Thakurani, all their desires were completely fulfilled. Lord Chaitanya enjoyed so much every preparation. And just toward the end of the meal, Advaitacharya suddenly offers a prayer. He prays, O Indra, today I recognize and appreciate your prowess. O Indra, today I consider you to truly be a Vaishnava. O Indra, from this day on I'm going to offer flowers and water in gratitude to you. Lord Chaitanya asked Advaita, why are you saying prayers to Indra? Advaita said, you just eat. You don't worry about, you don't listen to these things. Just keep eating. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I know why you are off, because it is by your prayers that Indra has sent these torrents of rain. This is not the season for rain. It never rains in this season. Why is it raining? Because you did not want any of the sannyasis to come with me. You specifically wanted me to eat every preparation, and you could put your full energy in serving me, because you knew if the sannyasis were here, you would have to be distracted by serving everybody else, and I would be trying to please them, and I wouldn't eat everything. So you just wanted me to eat all of your preparations, and therefore you caused Indra to bring about these tumultuous storms. He said, but this is nothing for you, Advaita Prabhu, because I know who you are. It is by your calling that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, descends to this world. It is by your calling that Yamaraj, time, and death have to give up their powers wherever you want to show your mercy. Advaitacharya, he said, this is all just the effect of your affection upon your servants. The only benediction I desire in my life is that you always allow me to serve you and accept me as your servant. One day, Advaitacharya, he called all the devotees together in the streets of Jagannath Puri. He said, today we will have Sankirtan, and we will only glorify Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After all, he is Krishna. He is the avatar in this age of Kali. Whatever respect and worship we're getting, it's only by the mercy of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Today we will not sing any other name except Lord Narayan, Lord Krishna, who has appeared as Sri Chaitanya. He said, but you must chant. Because I'm so enthusiastic. If I chant, it will be like the roaring of thousands of lions. So you sing the glories of the Lord, and I will dance. The devotees, they knew Lord Chaitanya's mood. He would never allow anyone to declare him, especially in a public place, to be Krishna. Although he is Krishna himself, he appears in the role of a devotee of Krishna, and to teach by his example. If anyone would call him Krishna or Vishnu, he would hold his ears. He would stop the sound from entering his ears and cry out, Vishnu, Vishnu, do not destroy my life by calling me God. I'm the servant of the Lord. On very rare, special occasions, like the Mahaprakas, he revealed himself to be Vishnu. But on all other occasions, he was always in the mood of the servant of the Vaishnavas. Knowing that in Kali Yuga, people will very cheaply declare themselves to be God or one with God, Lord Chaitanya was very strict. We can never become God. We could love God. In this regard, Srila Prabhupada explains that one devotee of Lord Chaitanya offered a prayer. I do not worship the Upanishads or the Puranas or the Vedas or the great Mahants and Yogis. I worship Nanda Maharaj, in whose courtyard the Supreme Brahman, the Absolute Truth, is crawling like a baby. Srila Prabhupada tells, who's more of a servant than a mother or a father? When a child's a little baby, the mother's constantly serving that baby, if required 24 hours a day with their hearts, because there's love. Where there's love, there's a desire to serve. Where there's love, there's a will to sacrifice. So Krishna's devotee, they don't want to be God. They want to be the mother of God, or the father of God, or the friend of God, or the lover of God. Because in such a mood, there's the deepest experience of love. Compared to the ocean, the fathomless ocean of love of Krishna, prema bhakti, even liberation is hardly a drop in comparison to one's happiness. So Lord Chaitanya was very strict. He would chastise the devotees with his own displeasure if they ever called him God. And here's Advaita Prabhu. He's ordering all the devotees, right here in Puri, in front of the temple, in front of everyone. We will declare Lord Chaitanya as Krishna. They were afraid to displease Lord Chaitanya. They were even more afraid to displease Advaitacharya. So on his order, they chanted beautiful songs, so loud, so tumultuously, that the Supreme Lord Narayan has now appeared in the beautiful golden form of Gaurchandra, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's the Lord of Vaikuntha. He's the Lord of Vrindavan. He's the most intimate, well-wishing friend of all living beings. He's Karuna Sagar. He's a bottomless ocean of compassion. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to chant his own holy names and drown the ocean, drown the world in the deluge of the chanting of the holy names. In this they were chanting, and Advaita was dancing so ecstatically to this kirtan, and he was composing his own beautiful poems, declaring Lord Chaitanya as the absolute truth, as the son of Nanda Maharaj. The kirtan resounded in all directions. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his home, Gambhira, he heard a loud kirtan going on. So he became very excited and went to join the kirtan. When he arrived, he heard what they were singing. Advaita gave a strict order: we will not sing the name of any other incarnation except Sri Chaitanya. Because Sri Chaitanya is the source of all incarnations. We will exclusively chant his names today. Lord Chaitanya heard this. He was very embarrassed. He stood there. Advaita Prabhu saw Lord Chaitanya, very grave, externally looking embarrassed and displeased. All the devotees saw him. But upon seeing him, Advaita became more ecstatic and danced even more jubilantly. And being influenced by Advaita Prabhu's ecstasies, the devotees chanted even louder, Jai Gauranga, Jai Gaur Narayan, Jai Gaur Gopal. Jai Gaur Govinda. Jai Shri Navadvip Chandra. Shree Jagannath Swami has appeared as Lord Chaitanya. Go Premanandi. They weren't even chanting Hare Krishna mantra. That kirtan, the Hare Krishna mantra, was not allowed. It was very ecstatic. Devotees were seeing Lord Chaitanya very grave, and they were dancing more enthusiastically and singing louder and louder. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu turned around and walked away. What did the devotees do? They followed him, chanting his glories. Lord Chaitanya didn't even turn around. He went right to his room in Gambhira, entered his room, closed the door, and just to show his displeasure to all the devotees, he laid down on the floor. The devotees saw Lord Chaitanya laying on the floor, and they increased the volume and the enthusiasm and the happiness of chanting Jai Gaur Govinda, Jai Gaur Narayan, Jai Gaur Krishna, Jai Gaur Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya just closed his eyes. The devotees didn't go away. Govinda, he said, he came to Lord Chaitanya while he was pretending to be asleep. And he said, "My Lord, the devotees are here." And Lord Chaitanya sat up. He didn't even sit up. He just laid there and said, "Bring them in." So some of the leading devotees came in his room. And Lord Chaitanya looked up and said, "Why are you doing this? You know what is my mood? Why are you doing this?" And Srivas Thakur, he said, "My Lord, we are only your puppets. We are not independent. We can only do what you inspire us to do." Lord Chaitanya, he said, "Srivas, you are all great pundits and scholars. You know that I am hiding my supreme glories to the world. You know that is my will. Why are you doing this?" Srivas answered his question by taking his two hands and waving them in front of his face. That's all. Lord Chaitanya said, "What is your answer?" Srivas just went like this. Mahaprabhu said, "Why are you putting your hands like that?" And Srivas said, "Don't you see what I'm doing? I'm covering the sun with my hands. But don't you see, it's impossible to cover my sun. It's impossible to cover the sun with my hands. And similarly, it's impossible for anyone to hide your supreme glories. My Lord, don't you see what's happening now? Now everyone knows that you're the Supreme Personality of Godhead." And just at that moment, thousands and thousands of pilgrims who were just coming to Jagannath Temple, they all came to the Gambhira. Thousands and thousands of pilgrims were chanting Jai Gaur Narayan. Jai Shri Vrindavanath Gauranga. Jai Vaikuntapati Gaur Sundar. Srivas said, there are people here from Bangladesh. There are people here from Tripura. There are people here from all over the world. And now they're chanting your glories. In every direction, your names are being chanted. You have descended to deliver the whole world, my Lord. Lord Chaitanya smiled. He said to Srivas, you have defeated me. Lord Chaitanya was supremely pleased in his heart. Srivas, and everyone knows that it's the greatest pleasure of the Lord to be defeated by his devotees. To be defeated by the love of his devotees. Vrindavan Das Thakur explains, anybody who hears these beautiful pastimes will have the supreme benediction of the association of these great devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in that association, ecstatic love for Krishna is given to each of us. Should I continue? These are some of the leelas that Lord Chaitanya was performing with his devotees from Bengal. During the 4 months, they would celebrate so many different festivals. For Janmashtami and Nandotsav, Lord Chaitanya would dress all his devotees up as Gopas and Gopis and perform wonderful leelas. During the Vijay Dasami, Lord Chaitanya and the other devotees dressed up as monkeys. In this day where they were celebrating all the different festivals here in Jagannath Puri. And at the end of the Chaturmasya, all the devotees came to the Gambhira, where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was to bid them farewell. They were all going back to their respective homes. They would not see Lord Chaitanya at all for the next 8 months. But especially in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, these particular exchanges are very special. Because in the imminent separation of these devotees, there was a special emotion of love where the Lord and the devotees would express their appreciation for each other. Mahaprabhu told Madhvacharya that give Krishna consciousness, love of Krishna, to even the most fallen of all fallen souls. That's how he said goodbye to him. To Nityananda Prabhu, go to Bengal and without restrictions, give Krishna consciousness, love of Krishna to everyone. To Srivas Thakur and his brothers, he said, in your home every single day perform Nam Sankirtan. In some places, Lord Chaitanya would tell Srivasa's brothers that you should live in perfect harmony with one another in respect to your elder brother Srivas. In this way, you will always be with me. And then Lord Chaitanya told Srivas something very special. Bring this prasad to my mother, Sachi Devi. I have garlands of Jagannath and cloth and food prasad. And tell Sachi Mata that she should know that I never neglect her. Lord Chaitanya glorified his mother. He said, she nourished me with her love for Krishna for my whole life. It's very interesting how Lord Chaitanya explains his mother Sachi. It's not that she just nourished me with her love. She nourished me with her love for Krishna. Her love for Krishna was so deep, and that manifested as the most pure motherly love for her child. He said, whatever devotion I have, whatever good qualities I have, it's all because of my mother. I should have never left her and taken sannyas, but somehow or other I have done like this. And now my mother, she cooks for me every day. Just the preparations that she knows that I like. And as she's cooking, she cries. And as she offers them to her Shalagram Shila, she cries. Please give her this example. Remind her that on the day of Vijay Dasami of last year, she made preparations, and Lord Chaitanya then told Srivas exactly the preparations that she made. And she went to offer them to Shalagram Shila. She put the plate on her lap and was thinking all these were the favorite things to eat for my little Nimai. And feeling separation from me, she cried and she cried and she cried. I couldn't resist. I had to go there and eat everything on the plate. But because her eyes were so filled with tears, she could not see. And after some time, when she finally cleared the tears of her eyes, she saw the plate was empty. And she was thinking, what happened? Why is there no food on the plate? I'm sure I put the food on the plate, but I must not have put the food on the plate. Or maybe an animal came and ate it all when I wasn't looking. She was bewildered. She knew inside of her heart that I came to eat it, but her external consciousness could not accept it. So she asked her assistant, Ishan, to clean the plate again. She went back to the kitchen and saw there was still food in the pots. So she offered it all again. Tell Mother Sachi, every time she cooks, I see her crying in the ecstasy of separation of her Nimai. And every single time she cooks, I personally come to eat the preparations. Then Lord Chaitanya, he turned to Raghava Pandit and began to explain the incredible glories of Raghava Pandit's worship of the Lord. Raghava Pandit lived in Panihati, Bengal, At his house, he had hundreds of coconut trees with such good coconuts. But his deity of Madan Gopal, he would like to offer him best varieties of coconuts. So if he heard of a really nice type of coconut 25 miles away, even though he had hundreds of this, he would go there to get it. And he explained the very intricate details of how Raghava Pandit would make his offerings. Then he turned to Satyaraj Khan and Ramananda, the devotees from Kulinagram. He said, Gunaraj Khan, Gunaraj Khan, generations before, lived in Kulinagram. And he wrote a small book called Krishna Vijaya. And in one line of that book, he writes, Nanda Nandana Krishna Mora Prananath. That Krishna, who's the son of Nanda Maharaj, is my life and soul. Isn't that simple? But because that simple one line was written with such humility and devotion, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I am conquered by Gunaraj Khan. I am forever subordinate to the love of Gunaraj Khan. In fact, because of that one line, Nanda Nandana Krishna Mora Prananath, I accept and I give love for Krishna to everyone from Kulinagram, even the dogs. Whoever is from that town is supremely blessed by Krishna's mercy. This is a wonderful instruction. How anything that is done with sincere devotion and love affects all those who are near to us. Narsingha Dev told Prahlad Maharaj, so many generations past and future of all your relatives will get liberation because of your love for me. The residents of Kulinagram were very humble. Ramananda, Satyaraj Khan, they asked a question to Lord Chaitanya. It is a question that they would ask every year. Said, we are householders. We're married, we have families, we have occupations, we're materialistic persons. What is the process by which we could make spiritual advancement? And Lord Chaitanya gave a simple reply. Constantly chant the names of Krishna, serve Krishna, and serve the Vaishnavas. Then he gave an elaborate explanation of the glories of the name of Krishna. Ramananda and Satyaraj asked, how do we know who is a true Vaishnava? Mahaprabhu said, anyone who once sincerely chants the holy name of the Krishna is to be considered worshipable and a Vaishnava. And every year they would ask the same question. The next year, we are fallen householders, we're materialistic, how could we make spiritual progress? And Lord Chaitanya gave the same answer. Constantly chant Krishna's names and serve the Vaishnavas. And then they would ask, how do we know who is a Vaishnava? And he'd say, anyone, first year, anyone who once chants the name of the Lord. Second year, he said, anyone who is constantly chanting the holy names of the Lord is a great Vaishnava. You should serve that person. Honor that person. Then the next year, as they were about to leave Puri after 4 months of having pastimes with the Lord, they asked, we are fallen householders, we're materialistic persons. What is the process for us to make spiritual advancement? And Lord Chaitanya said, you should constantly chant Krishna's name, serve the Lord, and serve and honor the Vaishnavas. And guess what they asked? How do we know who is a Vaishnava? And the third year, Lord Chaitanya said, anyone who, by coming in contact with, makes others chant the holy names of Krishna, he is the best of Vaishnavas and should be honored and worshipped. And Srila Prabhupada explains these are 3 different levels of Vaishnavas. They are all to be honored and served carefully. He turned to the residents of Srikhanda. He asked Mukunda Sarakar, please tell me, Lord Chaitanya said, I have a confusion in my mind. Are you the father of Raghunandan, or are you the son of Raghunandan? Now, Mukunda Sarakar was an elderly man, and Raghunandan was very young. Who asked that question? It's like me asking Vishwarup Prabhu, are you the father of Rupa Manjari, or is Rupa Manjari your mother? You know, if I ask that question, it kind of just reveals I'm a stupid person. But when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked that question, it's very serious. So Mukunda heard it, and he said, Raghunandan is my father and I am his son. Because he has influenced me so much with his Krishna consciousness. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became so happy. He said, yes, anyone who inspires us to be Krishna conscious is our guru, is like our father. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is establishing this standard of consciousness, that we respect a person according to the sincerity of their devotion. And we're eager to be inspired by the sincerity of others' devotion. It's not a matter of age or externals. Then Lord Chaitanya turned and gave specific instructions to 3 members of Srikhanda. He said to Mukunda Sarakar, well, first he explained the glories of Mukunda Sarakar. He's a householder with children, wife. He was a doctor by profession. He said one day the king called Mukunda for some instructions for his health. The king was sitting on a throne in a high platform. Mukunda was telling him, what medicines he should take. And at that time, because the sun was shining, someone came with a peacock fan to shade the king. And as soon as Mukunda saw the peacock feathers, he remembered Krishna and fell unconscious down from the stage a long, long way to the ground. The king thought that he might be dead. He jumped off the throne, he came off the stage, he went to the ground. he held up Mukunda and he said, "Are you all right? What happened?" Mukunda was so humble. He said, "I have a disease, something like epilepsy, and sometimes these things happen to me." But the king, who was a Mughal, by the association of Mukunda, understood this person is an enlightened saint who is exhibiting symptoms of ecstatic love of God. Lord Chaitanya told Mukunda, "You should earn material and spiritual wealth." Then to his son Raghunandan, he glorified. He said, "Raghunandan offers such loving devotion to his deities." Gopinath deity. That every day right outside the temple there's a kadamba tree, and by my will there's 2 sweet, fragrant, fully blossomed kadamba flowers to be offered to the deities. Raghunandan, you should worship the deities in the temple. And Narahari, who was the uncle of Raghunandan, he said, "You should be in the association devotees to preach the glories of the Lord." And here Srila Prabhupada gives a very beautiful instruction. He said there's 3 principal type people within our society, 3 categories. Those who work in the world with a profession, an occupation, who have families, responsibilities, but who do everything with Krishna in the center. And then there are those who are in the temple, taking care of the temple and the deities. And there are those who are living with devotees who are going and preaching the glories of the Lord to the world. Prabhupada said they are all equal. There is no difference. When Krishna is in the center, there's perfect harmony. And that's what makes a Vaishnava community. When we honor, when we respect, when we appreciate the efforts of every devotee, whatever their particular role or propensity might be. One may be a mother raising the children in Krishna consciousness. One may be a teacher. One may be in business. One may be a brahmacharya, a sannyasi. One may be a doctor. Maybe a farmer. If Krishna is in the center of our heart, then we can recognize and empower each other to spread Krishna consciousness throughout the world. That is Lord Chaitanya's message in this incident. Then Lord Chaitanya turned to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and his brother Vidyavachaspati. He said, in the age of Kali, Lord Krishna comes in 2 forms. In the form of wood and water. In the form of wood, Krishna appears as Lord Jagannath. And in the form of water, Krishna appears as Mother Ganga, the Ganges. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, you should dedicate your life to worshiping and serving Lord Jagannath. And Vidyavachaspati, who was a resident of Navadvip, you should dedicate your life to worshiping and serving Mother Ganga. Then Lord Chaitanya turned to Murari Gupta. He said, Murari Gupta's humility melts my heart. He is such a great devotee. Lord Chaitanya was actually Mahaprabhu was embracing every single devotee and glorifying them as if he had 5 mouths. He said, He told all the other devotees, let me tell you the substance and glory of Murari's love. I was regularly telling him that you should worship Krishna. Because Krishna's rasas, Krishna's sweetness, Krishna's beauty, Krishna's relationship with the devotee is the essence of all sweetness. We are all worshiping Krishna. Worship Krishna. Murari Gupta was a devotee of Ram. Lord Chaitanya said, Murari said, yes, I will do as you wish me to do. And then he went home. And that night, he cried all night long. And he was praying for his ability to follow Lord Chaitanya's instruction, but he couldn't. The next morning he came to me and he said, I have already given my head, my life to Lord Raghunath, Sri Ram. I have no power to take it away. I've already offered my life and soul to Raghunath. But you are my guru, and you're telling me to worship Krishna. But I can't. What can I do? I pray. Let me die in your presence so I will not be in this confusion. Lord Chaitanya said, when Murari Gupta said this, I smiled. I exclaimed, your love is pure. Your love is perfectly chaste. I just tested to see what was the quality of your love for Lord Ramchandra. He said, even in my instruction, you could not give up your loving service to Lord Sri Ram. You are Hanuman. Your love is perfect and pure. Lord Chaitanya explained, he gained the ultimate pleasure in seeing Murari Gupta's love for Lord Ram. Murari Gupta was declaring himself only to be the most fallen soul, as Lord Chaitanya glorified him with many, many mouths. And I'll end here. Lord Chaitanya turned to Shivananda saying, he said, Vasudev Dutt, you should manage his finances. Lord Chaitanya was knowing everything. He was such a, this is really devotee care. He said, Vasudev Dutt is so generous. As soon as he gets anything, he gives it away. Lord Chaitanya wasn't finding fault with him. He was just trying to balance ecstatic compassion with practical life in this world. He said, he has a family. He has to support himself. But as soon as he gets something, he gives it in charity. So Shivananda is saying, you should manage all of his finances and make sure everything's all right. And then he told Shivananda saying that every year you should bring all the devotees I have from Bengal to be with me for the Rath Yatra in Puri. You should provide all their needs. You should protect them and maintain them for the whole journey between Bengal and Jagannath Puri. Shivananda saying, blissfully accepted. that service. Then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to glorify Vasudev Dutt with thousands of mouths. Vasudev Dutt was very embarrassed. Lord Chaitanya was glorifying him, embracing him, giving him gifts, and Vasudev Dutt's head was low. And finally he spoke. My Lord, you have incarnated in this world to show the greatest mercy to everyone. I have one desire that is burning in my heart for a very long time. When I see people suffering in this material world in forgetfulness of you, it breaks my heart. Vasudev Dutt was so far beyond what we call a philanthropist in this world, who hates to see people suffering disease or poverty or discrimination. He had the deepest compassion for those people. He had the same type of compassion for those who were wealthy, powerful, healthy, who were under the illusion that they were enjoying this world. Because he was tasting the sweetness of love of Krishna. He felt nothing but pity for anyone who was bereft of that love. He could see that in this material world, from the highest planet of Brahma to the lowest planet of Patala, and all in between, there's suffering. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha dosanudarshanam. Birth, old age, disease, and death. Death to all our loved ones, and death to this own body is inevitable. The fever of material pleasure only brings about an attachment which increases the quantity and quality of suffering when it's inevitably taken away. He was seeing every living being as a brother and a sister, and he could not tolerate to see their suffering. He prayed, my heart breaks to see them forgetting you. I petition this one blessing. Let me take all the sinful reactions of every living being in this entire universe on my head, and allow me to suffer hellish conditions perpetually, so that every living being could be liberated and find this. You are the supreme independent personality of Godhead. If you can fulfill my desire, please give this blessing. He meant it. He was serious. It was the only desire in his heart. Upon hearing this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cried. His voice was so choked he could hardly speak. And when he was able to say something, Mahaprabhu said, "It is not astonishing that you are saying this, because you are Prahlad Maharaj. Because of your love for Krishna, because of your compassion for all living beings, because of your willing to suffer for them, Krishna has already delivered the universe. And why should he make you suffer?" If one mustard seed from a huge bag of mustard seed is lost, what is the loss? Krishna will deliver the whole universe. And he will fill it up again with conditioned souls on the basis of your compassion. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, seeing Vasudeva Datta's spirit of love for all living beings, he would say, "I have come to this world only for Vasudeva Datta. I am Vasudeva Datta's man. He owns me. He is my proprietor. Anywhere he wants to sell me, I am sold. I belong to Vasudeva Datta." When Srila Prabhupada was on Jaladuta, his beautiful prayers to Krishna were very much in the spirit of Vasudeva Datta. He had just had 2 heart attacks, severe seasickness, 70 years old. 38 days on a cargo ship, coming to a country where he knew no one. He had nothing except this compassion. And the blessing of his Guru Maharaj to spread this compassion. And Prabhupada prayed, "I don't have the words that they will understand. Krishna, only if you give me the words will they understand. These people are full of ignorance and passion. They're so fallen in this age of Kali, away from you. Prabhupada prayed to Krishna to empower him to make them happy. Those were Prabhupada's words. To make the world happy. I am your puppet. Make me dance, O Lord. Make me dance as you want me to dance. Your most insignificant servant. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada." Srila Prabhupada, when he was giving initiation to people, such enormous bad karma. Places he would go to spread Krishna consciousness. We were actually discussing this morning with Navina Nirada Prabhu and Shamdas Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada was never discouraged. Why? Because he just cared so deeply for everyone. Nothing could discourage him. He went to Butler, Pennsylvania to try to start his movement there. and nothing was happening. He was just living in a YMCA hotel. But he was studying. The first and only American he knew was Sally Agarwal. Just a simple middle-class American girl. He studied her carefully because he wanted to be relevant to the American people. She was a meat eater. She took intoxications. She had no idea what Krishna was. But Prabhupada treated her like a daughter. And she loved Prabhupada like a father. Prabhupada had to cook a vegetarian feast for them every day just so that they wouldn't eat meat. And then he went to New York. And he went to Dr. Mishra's yoga studio. He was going to start his movement there. But then he wasn't really welcome to speak because he had a very different philosophy. So while there was, in somebody else's studio, there was yoga being performed, and there was some, Brahmavad philosophy, and then Prabhupada would just lead kirtan. But he did it, because that's the opportunity, that's the door that opened. He did it, and he did it with enthusiasm. And then somehow or other, he moved in with this teenage American boy who had a loft on the top floor, which you had to go up about 4 flights of steps in the Bowery, which was a serious, dangerous ghetto of New York at that time. And Prabhupada was enthusiastic. He was giving classes there. He was so enthusiastic, he wrote back to his godbrothers and said, "We have a center now in New York City. I'm giving classes. We have a loft in the Bowery." And a couple people started coming. One Michael, one Jan, a few others, Carl. They were coming every now and then. They weren't followers, they were just interested. It was quite unique, a Swami in the loft in the ghetto of the Bowery giving Bhagavad Gita classes and singing. And Prabhupada was totally enthusiastic. 1 to 3 or 4 people coming to his classes, sometimes nobody. And then the person became kind of crazy on drugs and threatened to kill Prabhupada and kicked him out. And a couple of the people who were coming to Prabhupada's class saw he was so desperate, they helped him get that little place in 26 Second Avenue, little storefront. Srila Prabhupada spoke in one lecture in Gorakhpur, I believe, in India. He said, almost 1 year I was selling my books. And when 26 Second Avenue came to get the storefront and the room where he was, the apartment, he said, it was just the same amount of money I saved for almost 1 year, for 1 month. It took Prabhupada 1 year, almost, to make enough money to pay the first month's rent. And he had no clue where he would get money for the second month rent. But Prabhupada was not discouraged. He didn't have any loyal followers at the time. He just had people who just liked him. And some people felt sorry for him. And he was living alone there. And twice a week, people would come for some of his classes. And one day, he was just walking down the street in Houston Street. And one person named Howard came up to him and said, "Are you from India?" He said, "Are you coming from India?" And Prabhupada said, "Yes, are you?" He's an American man. And he said, "I'm giving classes. Why don't you come and bring your friends?" Somebody meeting on the street. Who would know that that would change the history of the world? Prabhupada showed him, this is the sign in front. I'm having Bhagavad Gita classes twice a week. Please come and bring your friends. And soon he and his friends moved in, and they were the first full-time devotees who were fully dedicating themselves to assisting Prabhupada. Prabhupada didn't have any money. He would have kirtan. He would have one apple. Somebody would donate an apple. He would cut the apple according to how many people were there, offer it to Krishna and give one slice to everyone. And after people started helping him, then he started teaching them how to cook prasad. Actually, he was cooking everything himself. One day a devotee said, "Prabhupada," after weeks and weeks of Prabhupada cooking feast for everyone every day, alone, somebody said, "Prabhupada, could I help you?" And Prabhupada said, "I was just waiting for someone to ask." And they gave him so much service. One person was an English professor, English teacher. Prabhupada said, "Could you help me editing some of my writings?" He said, "Yes, of course." Came to Prabhupada's room. Prabhupada gave him some papers. He said, "Do you think you can edit this?" He said, "Oh yes, Swamiji, I will do." And then Prabhupada said, "When you're done with this," and then Prabhupada showed him trunkloads of thousands and thousands of pages of manuscripts Prabhupada wrote. He said, "After that, you could edit all these too." And the person did. He began. So in this way, Prabhupada was never ever discouraged by any impediment. By yesterday, Krishna Mahaprabhu in his offering to Prabhupada on his disappearance festival, he cited Prabhupada saying, "Impossible is a word in a fool's dictionary." And Prabhupada embodied that principle. But why? It's not just a logical conception. Srila Prabhupada's compassion was so deep. If a mother has a little child that's in a dangerous situation, is there anything that a loving mother will not do for that child? That's the way Vasudev Dutt felt for all living beings. That was Srila Prabhupada's mood. Whatever situation was there, how could I help people become Krishna conscious? If you read in his diary, he's celebrating. I had an event where I played a tape recording that I made of the Maha Mantra, and 3 people came, and they seemed to enjoy it. Now I know that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement will spread in every town and village. If that happened to us, we would have probably just been depressed. It's not the quantity of the results we get. Krishna sees the quality of our sincerity. And in due course of time, if Krishna is pleased, He will allow us to be Srila Prabhupada's puppets and dance as He wants us to dance. So I believe that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is glorifying Srila Prabhupada with many thousands of mouths also. And how pleased Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda Prabhu will be to any devotee who's willing to tolerate all the distractions and the obstacles and the confusions that come in living in a spiritual society, and who, with Krishna in the center, strive to be examples of purity and cooperate together to help make Srila Prabhupada's life mission wonderful. And that is the opportunity that we all have. As Lord Chaitanya was bidding farewell to all the devotees of Bengal, they all cried. He's sending us home. 8 months we will be away from the Lord. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was crying as much as all the rest of them, feeling separation from his devotees. But they had their service. I guess in a few days, we all have to go back to our places of our homes and our families and our places of service too. So I'm hoping we will all be crying. Until the next yatra, we will all meet each other all again. All wonderful devotees coming together. But it's those deep impressions we have while being here in Shree Jagannath Puri Dham, where Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and all his associates are performing their eternal pastimes. And we can access those pastimes through our humble prayers, begging for mercy, begging for grace, begging for love, begging for service, begging for a taste for the holy names. In our Sankirtan together, in our visiting all of these wonderful holy places in the association of His Holiness Chandramauli Swami Maharaj, His Grace Madhavananda Prabhu, getting the motherly glances of Rukmini Devi Mataji and Mandakini Devi Mataji and Sarabi Devi Mataji and Sri Bangananda Prabhu. By association with advanced devotees, by association with each other, making deep friendships based on seva and sadhana, we can access such a deep experience of Krishna's mercy in the holy Dham of Sri Puri. And we take that blessing deep in our heart and protect it throughout the year. In this way, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bid them all farewell. But he told Gadadhar Pandit, "You stay with me. And tomorrow we will discuss the wonderful Leela of Sri Gadadhar Pandit and those associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Mahaprabhu, he relished the most intimate, loving pastimes in Jagannath Puri. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So as Maharaj mentioned, for the last 6 days, today is the 6th day of our yatra, we have been having a wonderful opportunity to do wonderful service, association of devotees, visiting holy places. And of course, one of the special services that our Govardhan Eco Village and especially the Govardhan Goshala has been offering to devotees is the blessed opportunity to serve the worshipable holy cows. And here I am on behalf of the Govardhan Eco Village to give a small update about what has happened in the last 6 days. So over the last 6 days, we had a wonderful opportunity of almost 350 devotees coming forward and helping in their own small or big ways in contributing to this Goshala. I repeat, 340 devotees have come forward. When we began this, we already had a collection. We had the adoption scheme, and we had 34 devotees who had already adopted before we came to Jagannath Puri and set up the stall here. And in the last 6 days, it is a very, very wonderful news to inform you all that from 35 adopted cows, fully lifetime adoption, we have now 76 cows we are completely adopted by devotees. I repeat, so that means in the yatra, we had 41 devotees who got the blessed opportunity to serve Mother Cow by adopting her for rest of her life. 41 devotees. Very happy to tell you that there are devotees who adopted 1 cow, some family adopted 2 cows, and we also have families who adopted 3 cows. Large family. And so now we are left with only 27 cows who are moving. Said, who is there to adopt us? So we have 27 more cows and we have 2 more days. A humble request to all of you. Please visit the stall. And as a reciprocation, you will see on your screens, we have a wonderful thank you card, which is on behalf of the cow that you adopt. A particular name, the mother's name, the father's name, everything is there mentioned. And on behalf of this holy cow, this thank you card is personally, I repeat, personally signed. It is not a digital sign, but personally signed by His Holiness RADHANATH SWAMI Maharaj. We told him, Maharaj, there might be 100 cards. We'll put a digital sign. Maharaj said, no, I want to personally sign each and every card. So it's a wonderful reciprocation. Devotees who are adopted, they already have got these cards. And 27 such more cards are waiting for the people who are in this audience. So please come forward. Our hope and prayer is that we achieve 105 adopted cows when we go back to GV and we give this news to our wonderful cows that yes, we have found 105 wonderful donors who are ready to adopt you. So please try to see whatever best you can. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sridham is the name of a cowherd boy,
Hare Krishna, there is a serious announcement. About 2 hours ago, 3 devotees went to the ocean to take bath, and a big wave came, and in a span of about 2 minutes or so, both of them almost drowned. So there was one devotee from the Russian Yatra. So he practically brought one of them out, went back again, brought the second devotee out. One of them is out of danger. The second one is right now being shifted to Bhubaneswar to an ICU. And the doctors have diagnosed that his lungs have ocean water plus sand in it. So he'll be under observation for the next several days. That's what the report from the hospital says. So we have repeatedly said that during your group visits, we have lifeguards who are fully trained in saving people from drowning. All of you, when you go in your group visits, we have lifeguards. Apart from those times, please do not venture. This ocean is very, very difficult to navigate. And especially those who feel that they can swim, they are experts, they are prone to the most danger. 2 घंटे पहले यहाँ पर 2 भक्त लगभग समुद्र में डूब गए थे. एक रशियन भक्त ने पहले एक को बाहर निकाला, फिर दूसरे को बाहर निकाला. उसमें से एक की प्रकृति इतनी चिंताजनक है कि उनके फेफड़े में समुद्र की बालू और समुद्र का पानी गया हुआ है. अभी इसी वक्त जो सीरियस कंडीशन में है उनको भुवनेश्वर के हॉस्पिटल में आईसीयू में भर्ती किया जा रहा है. तो जैसे कि हम आपसे हर बार निवेदन करते हैं, आप जब ग्रुप्स में जाते हैं तभी हमारे साथ लाइफ गार्ड्स होते हैं जो प्रशिक्षित लोग हैं. अगर कोई डूब रहा है तो उनको बचा सकते हैं. ग्रुप विजिट्स के बगैर कोई भी कृपया समुद्र स्नान में मत जाइए, क्योंकि ये समुद्र यहाँ की लहरें जो है वो बहुत बहुत शक्तिशाली है. और अपने आप को निपुण तैराकी समझने वाले जो आप समझते हैं कि मुझे स्विमिंग आता है, उनको भी इससे बहुत धोखा हो सकता है. तो कृपया सावधानी बरतिए.
Let us pray for these devotees. Our acharyas and our shastras declare this entire material world to be the ocean of samsara. An ocean with dangerous, threatening waves and condition at every moment. The human life is like a boat. Our Guru is like the captain. The Vedas like the favorable breezes. But we're all cast into this ocean of birth and death. And just as that heroic, compassionate Russian devotee risked his life to save others, Srila Prabhupada is asking all of us to help him in the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to save the people who are drowning in this ocean of birth and death. But in order to do so, we also need the shelter of a proper boat. Through our sadhana, through our seva, and through very carefully following these regulative principles, Srila Prabhupada gave us one very insidious warning. He said, your trouble is you do not have proper fear of Maya. Maya is like that ocean, all-powerful. Fear of Maya doesn't mean living afraid all the time. It means recognizing these powers that are so beyond our capacity. Like Krishna does. It is very important that we're very careful, we're very strict. These 4 regulative principles: no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex, no eating of meat. Sometimes Prabhupada would call them the regulative principles of freedom. Because if we're lax in these things, then we're going into those waves of the ocean. And we may think we're very strong, we may think we're great swimmers, we may think we're advanced devotees. But the undercurrent of Maya's powers will drag us deeper and deeper into the ocean. So it's very important. Don't go into the ocean, even if you're a great swimmer, unless there's people there to help you. And in this material existence, don't play with the fire of Maya's temptations, because she will burn you. Don't play with the waves of her insurmountable ocean. And at the same time as following these regulative principles and living with integrity, character, we must take shelter of the higher power of Krishna's grace. Dushasana was like a great ocean to Draupadi. But when she cried out to Krishna from the core of her heart, Krishna was there to help her. Daiviheshu gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mameva me prapadyante maya me tadarantite. This material energy is very difficult to overcome. But taking shelter of Krishna means to cry out his holy name with all helplessness, with all humbleness, with all sincerity, and to follow the instructions Srila Prabhupada, as Krishna's representative, has given us. But as Mahaprabhu has taught us again and again here in Puri, we need the association of devotees to accomplish that. In this spirit, let us flood the world with the ocean of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's grace through Nam Sankirtan. Hare Krishna. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine
namine.
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Everyone please.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna,
Very loud please.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Very loud.
Hare Krishna,
with great feeling.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Gaudiya Premanandi. We just received a message. One of our very most dear beloved devotees, His Grace Nimai Pandit Prabhu from Italy, who's dedicated his life for almost 4 decades in Srila Prabhupada's loving service. He's in a very critical state of health now. His beloved wife, Her Grace Vishnu Priya Mataji, has contacted us. He's in a critical state, and we're being requested from our hearts to pray for him. Please let us offer this kirtan in prayer. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Everybody, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Everyone, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hari Bol, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Sab bolo, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Everyone,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hari Bol.
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Everyone,
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hari Bol.
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Everyone,
Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hari Bol.
Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada.
Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada.
Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada.
Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada.
Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada.
Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo.
Hariharaye Namo, Krishna Yadavaya Nama.
Hariharaya Nama, Krishna Yadavaya Nama.
Hariharaye Namo, Krishna Yadavaya Nama.
Hariharaya Nama, Krishna Yadavaya Nama.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudana. Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudana.
Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudana.
Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohana.
Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana.
Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohana.
Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana.
Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Sita.
Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Sita.
Sri Chaitanya
Advaita Sita.
Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Sita.
Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Sita.
Adi Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita.
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 Sri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha.
Sri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha.
Sri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha,
Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha,
Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha,
Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha,
Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha,
Sri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha,
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama,
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 Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama,
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama,
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama,
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Jai Jagannath Swami ki, Sri Jagannath Baladeva Subhadra Mai ki, Sri Jagannath Baladeva Subhadra ki, Sri Jagannath Puri Dham ki, Ananti Koti Vaishnava Brinda ki, Sri Hari Nam Sankirtan ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki, Jai Jai Sri Radhe. Jai Jai Sri Radhe, Jai Jai Sri Radhe. Sham. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Haribo,
Nitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Haribo.
Nitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Haribo,
Haribo, Haribo, Haribo.
Nitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Haribo,
Haribo, Haribo, Haribo, Haribo.
Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Please let us pray for our Nimai Pandit. Please let us pray for His Holiness Srila Jai Patak Swami Maharaj. Please let us pray for all devotees in need and all devotees everywhere. Thank you very much.